Students, in previous session, we understood about the concept of square and square roots. So now, today, we will learn more about the same. So let's start with second session of Standard 8, Chapter 6, Square and Square Roots.
So students, let's start second session of chapter 6, square and square roots. Students, in previous session or first session, we learned about introduction of the concept of square and square roots, and we also discussed different properties of square numbers. I hope you have gone through the video of the first session, and I gave homework also that you have to write down the square of the numbers and you have to learn, as well as you have to learn the properties. I'm sure you have done it. So let's start with today's session. In this second session, we will discuss about some more interesting patterns, finding the square of a number, numbers between square numbers, and Pythagorean triplets, and we will also solve exercise number 6.1 and 6.2. So these are the four topics which we will discuss in this session. Let's start with some interesting pattern. Students, here you observe the number of smileys appearing every time. So the first one is only one smiley. In second, you can observe three number of smileys. Third, over here you can observe six number of smileys. Here we have 10 in number, and here we have 15 number of smileys in group. Now you observe the number again. It is 1 smiley, 3, 6, 10 and 15 number of smileys are there. Now next what we are going to do is, in next slide you will observe that we will add this first and third one. So 1 plus 3, that will give us 4, which is a perfect square number. Again, when you will add 3 to 6, that will give us number 9, which is also again a perfect square number. Then if you will add 6 plus 10, you will get 16. That is also again a perfect square number. And if you will add 10 plus 15, again you will get a perfect square number, that is 25. So let's observe it. See, what will happen if we combine two consecutive triangular numbers which were there in the previous slide? So here, as I said, 1 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 1, that is total number of smileys we'll get is 4. So here we have 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, which is a square of number 2, because we know that 2 2s are 4. One more time, 3 plus 6 is equal to 9. So 9 is a perfect square number and it is a square of number 3. Next topic is numbers between square numbers. So here we can find out how many non-square numbers lie between two consecutive square numbers. Let's take the example of first two perfect square numbers, that is 1 and 4. If you'll see the numbers, or if you'll observe the numbers from 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on, and we know that the 1 is a perfect square number, then 2 and 3 are not a perfect square, then very second perfect square number is 4. So we have 1 as a perfect square number and 4 as a perfect square number, where 1 is a square of 1 and 4 is a square of 2. Now keep this thing in mind. What we have to find is how many non-square numbers lie between two consecutive square numbers. So we know that between 1 and 4, we are left with 2 and 3. So total how many numbers are there which are non-square? That is 2. 2 and 3. So two numbers are there which are not a perfect square between two perfect square number, that is 1 and 4. Okay, let's take one more example so it will be more clear to you. Next, after 4, we have perfect square number is 9. So here 4 is a perfect square of number 2 and 9 is a perfect square of number 3. Now, if you will see between 4 and 9, we have 5, 6, 7 and 8. So total 4 numbers are there between 4 and 9 which are not a perfect square. So here you can see we have 2 into 2 non-square numbers, that is 5, 6, 7 and 8 that lie between square of 2 and square of 3. So now if we have to find the number of non-square numbers between two consecutive perfect square numbers, then we can find it out by particular formula. See over here, one more example we have is 3 square is equal to 9 and 4 square is equal to 16. Again 9 and 16 are consecutive perfect square numbers. So there will be 6 non-square numbers. If you see after 9 we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So total 6 non-square numbers we have. So we'll multiply 2 with 3 because the smaller number is 3. So we will multiply 2 by 3 and we'll get 6, which is number of non-square numbers that lie between square of 3 and square of 4. Again, also observe that these numbers are 1 less than the difference of two square numbers. Here you see the difference between 9 and 16. If you'll count after 9, we'll have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So the difference between 9 and 16 is 7 and 7 minus 1 is 6. So we have 6 non-square numbers between 3 square and 4 square. That is 9 and 16. So in general, we can say that if we consider two natural numbers n and n plus 1, that is both consecutive numbers, right? And their square. So if we are taking square of n, that will be n square and n plus 1 square. Then the difference of the squares, that is n plus 1 square minus n square, will be 2n plus 1. Here, if we have to find how many non-square numbers are there between 62 square and 63 square. We know that 62 and 63 are consecutive numbers and we have to find the number of non-square numbers between square of both, that is 62 square and 63 square. So we'll consider n is equal to 62 and n plus 1 is equal to 63. So here what we will do is 2 into n. So in order to find out the non-square numbers, number of non-square numbers between 62 square and 63 square is equal to 2 into n. So we have taken n is equal to 62, so 2 into 62 is equal to 124 non-square numbers are there between square of 62 and square of 63. Again, as I said, it will be 1 less than the difference of square. So let's observe it again. Square of 62 is 3844 and square of 63 is equal to 3969. If we'll take the difference, then it is 124. And as I said, you have to subtract 1 from the difference again. So 125 minus 1 is equal to 124. That again we have already calculated, which is equal to 2 times of n. So students, wherever you are asked to find the number of non-square numbers, what you'll do is you will take the smaller number as n and simply multiply that number with 2, and that will give you the number of non-square numbers. Say right now in this example I have 62, so I have multiplied 62 with 2, so that is my answer. It is 124. Suppose if I have to find the difference between square of 42 and square of 43, then my n will be 42. So my answer will be 2 into 42, that is 84. We will also see the same in the exercise also when we will solve it. Okay, let's move further. Next topic is product of two consecutive even or odd natural numbers. The product of two consecutive even or odd natural numbers can be expressed as 1 subtracted from the square of their middle number. Now, we know that 11 and 13 are consecutive odd numbers. So, if we have to find out the product of 11 and 13, then what I have to do simply is I have to take the square of the between number which is lying between 11 and 13, that is 12. We know that the square of 12 is 144, and then I have to subtract 1 from it. So 144 minus 1 is equal to 143, and that will be the product of 11 and 13. Say, let's take the simple example of 7 and 9. We know that 7 and 9 are consecutive odd numbers. Then 8 lies between 7 and 9. Then I'll take the square of 8, which is 64, and 64 minus 1 is 63, and we know that 9 sevens are 63. So this is how you can find out the product of two consecutive even or odd natural numbers when you're given very big numbers. Let's take one more example of 13 and 15. So 14 lies between 13 and 15. So we'll take square of 14. We know that the square of 14 is 196 minus 1, that is 195. Or we can also do it as 12 square minus 1 we have. So what we will do is 12 minus 1 multiply by 12 plus 1. That will be equal to 143, because 12 minus 1 is 11 and 12 plus 1 is equal to 13. So this is equal to 12 square minus 1, which is 144 minus 1, that is 143. Let's see one more interesting pattern. See, over here I have square of 1, that is 1. Then I have square of 11, that is 121. Then I have to take square of 111. Then you can observe that we have 3 ones. Number of ones we have over here is 3. So I'll put 3 in the center. Then on both sides of 3, next I'll put 2, and then I'll write 1. So the square of 111 will be 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Next, observe it. I have to take the square of 4 ones, that is 1111. Then what I'll do, I'll write 4 in the center, then 3 on both sides, then 2 on both sides, and then 1 on both sides of 4. So my ultimate answer will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Suppose I have to take the square of 11,111. Then what I'll do is I'll write 5 in the center first, then I'll write 4 on both sides, then 3, then 2, and then 1. So the square of 11,111 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. I have 1,11,111. So what I'll do is, we have total number of ones, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'll write 6 first in the center, then the previous number, that is 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, and then 1 on both sides respectively. And so the square of 1,11,111 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So In this way, you can find out the square of any number where you have only 1 as the digit, irrespective of how many times of 1 is appearing in that number. Suppose if you have 7 times 1 appearing in the number, then what you'll do is you'll write 7 in the center, then 6, then 5, then 4, then 3, and then 2, and last 1. So that will be your answer. Students, let's observe one more interesting pattern. Here we have square of 7, that is 49. Then we have square of 67, then 4489. Then we have square of 667, then it is 444889. So every time you observe that number of 6 over here and number of 4s and number of 8s over here, and every time you will have 9 on its unit place, because over here we have 7 on the unit place. So here only 1 6 will we have. So we have 2 number of 4s and 1 number of 8. Then when we have 2 times 6 appearing over here, then we have 3 times 4 appearing over here and 2 times 8 appearing over here. If 6 is appearing for 3 times, then 4 will appear for 4 times in the square and 8 will appear 3 times in the square. If we have 6 is appearing for 4 times, then here 4 will appear for 5 times and 8 will appear for 4 times. Here we have 6 is appearing for 5 times. So 4 will appear 5 plus 1, that is 6 times, and 8 will appear for 5 times. Same, here we have 6 is appearing for 6 times. Then in the square we have 4 appearing for 7 times, that is 6 plus 1, and 8 is appearing for 8 times. Same over here we have 6 is appearing for 7 times, then 4 will appear here, 7 plus 1, that is 8 times, and 8 will appear for 7 times. So this is the square of this number 6 6 6 6 6 6 6 7. The answer will be 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4, that is 8 times 4, then 7 times 8, and then 9 on its unit place. So this is how we can find out the square of such numbers. Next, adding odd numbers. Again, some more pattern is there that you have to observe. See, 1 is equal to square of 1. 1 plus 3 is equal to 4 is equal to square of 2. 1 plus 3 plus 5 is equal to 9, which is square of 3. 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 is equal to 16, which is square of 4. Now see, here we are adding first 2 odd numbers, which is square of 2. If you add first 3 odd numbers, then it will be square of 3. If you add first 4 odd numbers, then it will be square of 4. Same way, if you add first 5 odd numbers, that is 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9, then it will be 25, which is square of 5. So in short, in general, we can say that sum of first n odd numbers is equal to n square. If you add first 10 odd numbers, then it will be square of 10. If you add first 9 odd numbers, then it will be square of 9. So in general, sum of first n odd numbers is equal to 1 plus 3 plus and so on till number n, which is n square. So again, you have to remember this, how to find out the sum of odd numbers. If number is a perfect square, then it has to be sum of consecutive odd numbers starting from 1, and vice versa. That is, if a natural number cannot be expressed as sum of odd consecutive numbers, starting from 1, then it cannot be a perfect square. Suppose say for number 5, if we cannot write it as the sum of first odd numbers starting from 1, then we know that 5 is not a perfect square. So again I'm repeating, if number is a perfect square, then it has to be sum of consecutive odd numbers starting from 1. And if natural number cannot be expressed as sum of odd consecutive numbers starting from 1, then it cannot be a perfect square. Now, one more topic, expressing a square as sum of two consecutive numbers. So here we have to express 19 square as sum of two consecutive numbers. So here first what we will do is we will take n is equal to 19. Then the first number will be square of n minus 1 divided by 2. So 19 square is 361 minus 1 upon 2, that is 360 divided by 2. We know that 18 2s are 36. So 360 divided by 2 is equal to 180. So 180 is one number. Next, finding the another number, that is second number will be n square plus 1 upon 2, that is 19 square plus 1 upon 2, that is 362 divided by 2 is 181. So we can express square of 19, that is 361, as sum of 180 and 181. And we know that 180 and 181 are consecutive numbers. So in short, what you have to do is whatever number or whatever base you have, that is over here we have 19, that you will take it as n. Then you'll use this formula, that is n square minus 1 upon 2, or you can use the formula n square plus 1 upon 2. Any of it you can use in order to find the two consecutive numbers. Next, finding the square of a number. Suppose if I'll give you to find out the square of very big number, say any 3-digit number or any 2-digit number, then how to find out? Because till 30 I have already told you to learn the squares. So till 30 if you have learned the square, you don't find any problem when you have to write the square. But what when you are given a bigger number, then we have to go back to standard 7, where you have learned the multiplication of binomial with binomial. So where you are multiplying two binomials with each other, then what we have to write it as, we know that square means we are multiplying the same number with each other. So here we have to write, if we have to find a plus b whole square, then we will write it as a into a plus b plus b into a plus b. So what we will do is, when we have bigger 2-digit number, we will split it into a plus b form. Suppose if I have to find out the square of say 37, then what I'll do is I'll split 37 as 30 plus 7. If I have to find for 92, what I'll do is 90 plus 2. If I have to find for 68, then I'll do it as 60 plus 8. I'll split the number in form of addition, and then I'll make a square. And so here, if we'll talk about 92, then it will be 90 plus 2. So A will be 90 and B will be 2. So 90 plus 2 whole square is equal to 90 plus into 90 plus 2 plus 2 into 90 plus 2. Let's see the example. See, I have to find the square of 35. So first what I'll do is I'll split 35 as 30 plus 5. So now taking square on both the sides, 35 square is equal to 30 plus 5 whole square. Now remember the multiplication of binomial with binomial. So I'll write 30 into 30 plus 5 plus 5 into 30 plus 5. Next, what I'll do is I'll multiply 30 into 30. Next, I'll multiply 30 with 5. Next, I'll multiply 5 with 30. And last, I'll multiply 5 with 5. So ultimately, I'll get something like this. 30 into 30 is equal to 900. 30 into 5 is equal to 150. 5 into 30 is equal to 150 again. And 5 into 5 is equal to 25. And then last, when I'll sum it up, I'll get my answer, that is 1225. Let's start with exercise 2.1. What will be the unit digit of the squares of the following numbers? One number we have is 81 and another number we have is 272. For solving this exercise, you need to recall the properties that we have done in the first session. So first, in 81, you can observe that the unit digit is 1 and square of 1 is 1. So the unit digit of square of 81 will also be 1. Same for 272. We know that square of 2 is 4. So square of 272 will have 4 on its unit digit. Question 2. The following numbers are not perfect squares. Give reason why these numbers cannot be a perfect square. So recall again the property that if the number does not end with 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9 or even number of zeros, then it cannot be a perfect square. So here in 1057, you can see we have 7 on the unit digit at unit place, which shows that 1057 cannot be a perfect square. Same for 23,453, we have number 3 on its unit place, which is again shows that it is not a perfect square. Same for this number also, we have 2 on its unit place. So unit digit does not end with 1, 4, 5, 6, 9 or even number of zeros. So it cannot be a perfect square. Question 3. The squares of which of the following would be odd numbers? We have learned the properties. If the number has odd number on its unit place, then the square will also be a odd number, and if it is having even number on its unit place, then the square will also be even number. So here in 431 we have 1, obviously, so the square of 431 will be an odd number, and for 2826 we have 6 on its unit place, which is an even number. So for square of 2826 will not be an odd number, so it will be an even number. Question 8. Express 49 as a sum of 7 odd numbers. So first 7 odd numbers will be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and 13. If you will make the sum of all this odd number, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 plus 13, it will be 49. Same, express 121 as a sum of 11 odd numbers. Then also we can write it same way. Next, question number 9. How many numbers lie between squares of the following numbers, that is 12 and 13? Here we are given two consecutive numbers 12 and 13. So n is equal to 12 and n plus 1 is equal to 13. So we'll have 2 into n, that is 24 square numbers lying between squares of 12 and 13. Next, Question number 5. Observe the following pattern and supply the missing numbers. Here we have square of 11, then 101, then 10101 and 1010101, and then here we have blank. So observing the pattern, you can see that here we have 1 to 1, then we are getting two zeros in between 1 and 2 and 2 and 1, then we have 3 in the center, then again zeros in between. So here for this 1010101 square, we will have 4 in the center, then zeros, then 3s, then again zeros, then again 2s, then again zeros, and again 1. So this will be the square of this number 1010101. Okay, then last here we have 5 in the center, then zeros, then 4s, then again zeros, then again 3s, then again zeros, then again 2s, and then again zeros, and then again 1. So here we have 5 in the center. So what we have to write is 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. So 4 times 1 0 1 0 1 0 we will repeat, and last digit will be 1. And so this number is the square of this 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. Next topic is Pythagorean triplets. Students, you all are aware of right angle triangle, right? So here for this right angle triangle, we have P as hypotenuse, M is base, and N is height. So P square, that is square of hypotenuse, is equal to sum of square of base and square of height. Square of base is m square, so I have written m square over here. Square of height is n square, so I have written n square over here. So m square plus n square is equal to square of hypotenuse, that is p square. Then this m, n and p is called a Pythagorean triplet. Now, where we are going to use it, or how we are going to use it, and why we are discussing over here in this chapter of square and square roots. Because we have squares over here, square of base, square of hypotenuse, and square of this height. That's why we are discussing over here in this chapter. This shows the relationship between the we can say the dimensions of hypotenuse, base, and height. So if we are aware of any two measurements, then we can find the third one. So for any natural numbers, m is greater than 1, we have 2m square plus m square minus 1 whole square is equal to m square plus 1 whole square. Then 2m, m square minus 1 and m square plus 1 are Pythagorean triplets. So group of such three numbers is called Pythagorean triplets. Let's see the example for the same. So let's start with exercise 2.2. Question 1. Find the square of the following numbers. We have to find the square of number 93. So as I said earlier, what we have to do is we have to split this number 93 into 90 plus 3. So 93 square is equal to 90 plus 3 whole square. So A is equal to 90 and B is equal to 3. So using multiplication of binomial with binomial, we will write it as 90 into 90 plus 3 plus 3 into 90 plus 3. Multiplying 90 with 90 will get 8100. Multiplying 90 with 3 we will get 270. Again over here multiplying 3 with 90 we will get 270. and multiplying 3 with 3 will get 9. And summing all this up will get 8649, which is square of number 93. Question 2. Write a Pythagorean triplet whose one number is 6. As I said, Pythagorean triplet is a group of 3 numbers. Out of this 3, we are given one number, that is 6. So here 6 can be equal to 2m, or 6 can be equal to m square minus 1, or it can be equal to m square plus 1. Here we have to choose accordingly, or we have to choose randomly. It can be 2m, it can be m square minus 1, or it can be m square plus 1. Here I am taking, or I am selecting 2m is equal to 6, and for that value of m I will get is 3. Now the same value of m I have to put in m square minus 1. So m square is equal to 3 square, because here for 2m is equal to 3 we are getting value of m is equal to 3. So here it will be 3 square minus 1, that is 9 minus 1 is equal to 8, and third number will be m square plus 1, that is 9 plus 1 is equal to 10. The group or the Pythagorean triplet will be 6, 8 and 10. Next, for number 16, again over here also I have taken 2m is equal to 16. You can also take m square minus 1 is equal to 16, or you can also take m square plus 1 is equal to 16. And accordingly you will get the value of m. Sometimes it may happen you will not get the exact value of m. It may be in fraction or so. Suppose if it happens, then you have to try with 2m, or you have to try with m square plus 1, or you have to try with m square minus 1. So it's all about trial and error. So for 2m is equal to 16, I'll get m is equal to 8. So the another number will be 64 minus 1 is equal to 63, and the third number will be 64 plus 1 is equal to 65. Thus the Pythagorean triplet is 16, 63 and 65. So students, here we are ending with the second session of chapter 6, square and square roots. I hope you all have understood all the concepts very well. Please watch the video again and again so you will be more clear with the concept and all the topics. Your homework for today's session is exercise 6.1 and 6.2. All the questions you have to solve it in your notebook. And again, I'm saying keep on repeating and keep on practicing all the sums again and again. Also keep on learning the squares of number 1 to 30 daily, so that it will be learned by heart. It will be very useful to you. Thank you for attending this session. Goodbye and take care.